The Vorith fleet moved through the Kepler sector like a storm through dry grass. 47 civilizations had fallen before them. Their warships, long, obsidian vessels shaped like curved blades, numbered in the thousands. Their weapons could crack a moon. Their shields had never been breached. Not once. Not in 300 years of conquest. Admiral Kale Drathos stood on the bridge of the Eternal Dominion, watching the tactical display with cold satisfaction. Ahead lay the outer colonies. 17 human settlements scattered across 6 star systems. Small. Primitive. Barely 2 centuries into space travel. Survey report, he commanded. His lieutenant stepped forward. Humans have approximately 200 warships defending the outer colonies, Admiral. Their technology is roughly 4 generations behind ours. Their hulls are titanium composite. Their weapons are conventional plasma-based. Drathos almost smiled. 4 generations. Yes, Admiral. Send them the surrender protocol. Give them 1 planetary rotation to respond. He didn't expect a response worth reading. The response arrived in 11 minutes. Not 24 hours. 11 minutes, Lieutenant Voss read it aloud on the bridge, his voice carrying a strange note of confusion. To whatever alien force has entered our space, we received your message. We understand your terms. Our answer is no. Every ship we have is moving toward you right now. If you want our worlds, come and take them. We'll be waiting. Admiral James Ironwall Carver, UEF Warship Defiant. Silence fell across the bridge. Drathos stared at the screen. In 300 years, 47 species had surrendered, fled, or been destroyed within hours. None had ever sent back a challenge. 1 ship, Voss said quietly. The Defiant is moving ahead of their fleet. Alone. Alone. Drathos leaned forward. Yes, Admiral. It's positioning itself between our fleet and the first colony, Proxima Station. The rest of the human fleet is holding position 20,000 kilometers behind it. Drathos studied the lone blip on the screen. A single human warship. Titanium hull. Outdated weapons. Placing itself in front of 1,000 Vorith vessels that he felt something he hadn't felt in a very long time, curiosity. Don't fire yet, he said. I want to see what this human intends. Admiral James Carver stood on the bridge of the Defiant and didn't flinch. He was 53 years old, gray at the temples, with a jaw like carved stone and eyes the color of a winter sea. 20 years in the UEF. He'd fought pirates, corporate militias, and rogue AI fleets. He had never run from anything. Behind him, his crew of 400 moved with mechanical precision. No panic. No trembling. They had volunteered for this position. Every single one of them. Vorith fleet is holding, Admiral, called Lieutenant Marcus Webb from Tactical. They're not firing. Good. Carver clasped his hands behind his back. They're watching. Let them watch. Chief Engineer Dr. Patricia Moore's voice crackled over the intercom. Admiral, the modifications are online. All 6 systems are green. Carver allowed himself a small smile. 3 months ago, when Vorith scouts had first been detected, humanity hadn't sat still. While diplomats stalled and politicians argued, the engineers worked. The Defiant had been refitted in secret, not with newer weapons, but with smarter ones. Charge the mirror array, Carver said calmly. Target their lead vessel. The first Vorith shot came without further warning. A beam of concentrated dark energy, capable of splitting a kilometer of solid rock, struck the Defiant head-on. On 1,000 Vorith screens, Admiral Drathos watched the human ship vanish inside the blast. Confirmed kill, Voss began. Then the light cleared. The Defiant floated untouched. Drathos stood from his seat. The Defiant's mirror array, a human invention born from 3 sleepless months of desperate engineering. Had redirected the Vorith beam. Absorbed it. Converted it. Fired it straight back. The Eternal Dominion shuddered violently. Alarms shrieked across the bridge. Hull breach on decks 9 through 14. What? Drathos grabbed the console. What was that? Their ship, Voss whispered, genuinely pale. It reflected our own weapon back at us. Then the Defiant opened its secondary batteries, and 200 human ships surged forward from behind. The battle lasted 6 hours. The Vorith had never experienced an enemy that adapted mid-fight. Every tactic Drathos deployed, Carver countered, not with superior technology, but with something the Vorith had never catalogued in any of the 47 species they'd conquered. Improvisation. Human crews rerouted power to shields while simultaneously ramming disabled Vorith ships to break formation. They used their own vessels' explosions as cover. They communicated in layered encrypted patterns that Vorith systems couldn't decode fast enough. They laughed on open channels during the fight. Drathos heard it himself, human voices, joking, cursing, cheering, while their ships burned and bled and kept fighting. When the Vorith fleet finally broke formation and retreated, they left behind 230 ships. Humanity lost 61. Admiral Drathos sat in the wreckage of his bridge, staring at the retreating blip of the Defiant, still flying, still whole. What are they? His lieutenant whispered. Drathos had conquered 47 civilizations. He had studied 1,000 species. He had never seen anything like what he had witnessed today. Dangerous, he said quietly. Send a message to the High Council. Tell them, do not touch human space. Admiral James Carver stood at the viewport of the Defiant as the last Vorith vessel disappeared into FTL. The bridge was quiet. 61 ships were gone. Thousands of men and women, people he'd known, trained beside, shared meals with, were gone. He didn't celebrate. He stood there for a long moment, watching the stars. Admiral, Marcus Webb said softly. Proxima Station is hailing us. They want to thank you. Carver turned from the viewport. His face was tired but steady. Tell them not to thank us yet, he said. Tell them to build more ships. He walked back to his command chair and sat down. Because James Carver knew, as every human worth their salt knew, that the Vorith would return. Maybe not today. Maybe not for years. But they would return. And when they did, humanity would be ready. It was, after all, what humans did best.